Hey everyone, we are back for another week of exciting rehearsals. This week, we are celebrating the most important person out there, Mom. Yay. We're also going to find out what made Cindy say,
"It was madness," but somehow they all marched during finals. I still don't know how they did it. But we had several that said, "There's no way I am missing that final run. We made it to finals. I'm not missing it."
And why Ashlee said,
"Like your broken hip? Oh my goodness. My grandma's hip is not broken."
All this and more. So get out on the field and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome to another episode of Season 2 of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Jackie Brown. We are in for an exciting rehearsal this week because not only are we celebrating all the moms out there, but we have some very special moms who are actually coming on to chat about their experiences being a mom in the marching arts. But what's even better than that is that our hosts this week are all moms too. Yay!
Yay! Moms rule.
So let's see who's on the sideline this week, starting with one of my besties, Ashlee. You are a mommy on a mission. How are you?
So good, friend. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us about your kids. I mean, I know all about your kids, but tell our audience about your kids.
I have almost 4. I'm pregnant with number 4 right now, due in June. I know, Cynthia.
Yay!
So I will have 4 and under, because my daughter won't be 5 until September.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that.
Yes. Yeah. They're crazy. They're fun. Yeah, I think being in marching band has kind of helped my brain, my multitasking brain deal with it. So yay, band.
Brave mama.
Cindy is back. You are not just an IRL mom, but you are the band mom to everyone on Instagram, I have to say. But tell us about your real kids.
Oh, absolutely. Mine are all grown. In fact, I just got back from 2 weeks with all 3 of my grown daughters in the Redwoods in California because my middle daughter is a park ranger there. And awesome so cool. Job. My oldest 2 did not do band at Leander, but my youngest is my band kid. And I was in band. So I finally, with number 3, got my band kid. And so she's still in Texas. My oldest is a wedding photographer in DC. So they have a wide variety of lives. I mean, they couldn't all be more different, but very close. And my youngest, my band nerd, we nerd out together. We do DCI together, and I drag her to BOA competitions, and it's fun having that connection with one of your grown kids. I mean, obviously I have connections with all 3 of them, but we have that in common. We have that passion, and she was in marching band, and obviously Leander was, very successful in a lot of ways. So we got a taste of that, and we fell in love with all things band related because of that. So
yay!
When your kids grow up, you have that to look forward to as well. It's wonderful.
I'm so excited about that part.
Oh, it's great.
Cynthia, you are a single mom, but tell us about your amazing daughter.
Yeah, Sarah is 6 now.
Oh.
And yeah, like you said, she's 6 going on 15. Like she's a teenager by far already, but she's really great. And I was born in College Garden. My parents met through drum corps. My dad was a director. Wow. I've been to WGI every year. I missed 2, I think, except for the ones that didn't. So to have Sarah around College Garden and drum corps is not hard for me. It was just like, at a certain point, they become a human. Like bringing them everywhere when they're 5-week-old is easy. At 6, I told her before going to WGI, I was like, there's going to be long moments of flexibility where we can do whatever you want, and short moments of really harsh, in French, I just have the word in French, but non-flexibility. Like you have to be there when it needs to be there.
Structure.
Structure, there you go. And
There
she
you
was fine
go.
with it. And I'm going to bring her to the tour with Troopers at the end of the
Wow.
summer. Like, she's really, really
Wow.
flexible with all this. Yeah. I don't think she's going to, at this point, she doesn't want to perform. Or at least she said that she wants to perform
Yeah.
open class. And I'm trying to tell her that that's not the path that you do. At 6, you don't just jump to open class. But she loves to be... yeah, her achiever. But she loves to be around color guard and drum corps and all that. So it's just easy to have her around. And like, I was one of the worried moms that I have to stop. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us, there's
Yes.
the yes, right? That when you're pregnant, you're like, and that's, I don't know for you guys, but it's one of the things why you think that there's less designers, female designers and all that. And then you figure out you can make it. Like it can work out.
It's possible. There's sacrifices on both sides, but it is possible. I have a little boy who's only 2. He'll be 3 in September. And anybody who was at WGI either in 2022 or this year in 2024 got to meet him. He's a little sweetheart, and he got his first flag ever at WGI this year. So he was like out there flipping it around on the sidewalk and just having a blast. And I am due to have my second baby in October. So
Yay!
yeah. So anybody who's going to be at the Macy's parade this year, there's going to be a tiny little baby.
What? Very tiny.
Very
Wow.
tiny.
Wow, you're brave.
It's going to be a trip, but I think we can do. I did it with the first one. We can do it again. It'll be out. It's like
If you
Cynthia was
need
saying,
anybody
like,
to
you
come
just go.
along and be your nanny, I am totally willing to help out. If you just let me know, I'm there.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and introduce our guest host for tonight. This is, I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit more than what I'm going to give her, but we're talking to Jacqueline Yurko, who is also a mom in the marching arts. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm honestly so excited to talk to you because I want to know how you balance everything. But first, before we get to that, we need to do our 32 count life story. Okay. So if you've listened to the show before, you know, we're going to give you a Dr. Beat. You'll get 8 on the Met. And then you just jump right in and you tell us your entire life story, whatever has happened to you from birth until now. Are you ready?
No pressure.
Think so.
All right, let's do this.
All right. I'm Jackie Yurko. I live in Bergen County, New Jersey, and my dad got me into the marching arts when I was little, grew up in Rochester, New York. Right now I am in finance for a corporate clothing company. I teach Fusion Winter Guard as well as Blue Coats Drum Corps.
Sweet.
And I'm on the movement team.
So when in there did you become a mom, though?
Yeah, missed that part, but I figured we'd talk about it more. Yeah, so my little boy he's going to be 6 in like 3 weeks. So I have a very similar story as Cynthia, actually. My dad got me, like I said, into the marching arts when I was really little. And 2018, Riley, my son, was born. I was teaching drum corps at the time. So just, managing that, and very similar. He kind of grew up in like me dragging him to rehearsals at Fusion, and no interest really, same yet. But we like put him he's into the sports thing, the soccer, the baseball, put him into gymnastics. And but he does like being around. He's known all the kids pretty much his whole life. So he knows what it's about, and he knows mommy loves it, and he's always down for the ride, but we'll see where he takes interest in it later down the road.
That's the perfect training. You eat sports, gymnastics. He will be ready for marching band if he can do those things. Good training.
That's what I'm hoping. Whether it's musically or, in the color guard, whatever it may be, maybe at some point. My dad was a drummer, so, maybe it'll be in his bloodline somewhere along the way, but we'll see. but yeah, he's a great kid. So it's really fun to drag him along. He's pretty good. So
how did you start out? What did you play or do in band that got you excited about it?
Yeah, so my dad was an assistant band director up in Rochester, New York, and I was around the novice winter guard, the indoor, both the marching band and the indoor guard up in Hilton, New York, when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And so I was also dancing, obviously, in preschool and taking all dance classes. So I was doing the competition dance and then the color guard as well. And, little 5-year-old trying to spin a padded saber and dancing and everything. Yeah. So I was definitely around for all my dad's time with the band and then took some time off from color guard, went on to do the competitive dance thing, moved back to New Jersey around 2000, 2001, and got back into color guard in 2003.
Wow.
And pretty much didn't take much time off between, I think I took 2 years off. Did marching band with Trish, actually. She taught me in high school.
Wow.
And and then from there just went into independent guards from there, and then did DCA drum corps for a long time as well.
And how are you going to manage this summer? Are you with Blue Coats the entire summer and it's going to come along?
No,
okay.
I was with Blue Coats last year and this year as well. And they're just short stints, basically a week at a time. Like I went to April camp. I will go out for the end of spring, like 1 week, the end of spring training, and then I'll be on the road for 1 week.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And so it balances pretty well because it's not, I don't know if I'd be able to do the whole summer, but I'm really excited that I can at least be a part of it in some capacity. And of course, there's, tons of family at home that are really, really supportive to be able to, watch Riley when I'm away. So it works out well. Thank God.
I'm such a big fan of Kathy.
I missed that.
Oh, I said I'm such a big fan of Kathy on the Blue Coat stuff. Yeah.
She's amazing. She is truly like a great soul, great educator. Yeah. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you get to take your little boy on the tour with you at all or to any of the drum corps rehearsals?
No, they're
the big leagues.
Yeah, we've taken him to like the local DCA shows around here in Jersey. But as far as being on the road, maybe Allentown, because that's not too far. It's about an hour from home.
Oh, yeah.
So my parents usually come out for that. And my dad did bring him at the Glassboro Jersey show last year. They surprised me there for a day. But everything else is just a little too far. And, sleeping on the buses and everything, I think that would be a little extreme at 6 right now. But maybe one day.
They manage. Sarah sleeps way better than I do in a bus. I was coming back of WGN. I was like, I cannot go on tour. I'm way too this is hurtful. I cannot sleep. And Sarah, I'm like, they manage.
Well, I have to ask, does your little boy get a costume that matches what the Blue Coats are wearing? I just love that trend when you see like in guard and in band, when you see the little kids in a little matching uniform. I just love that. Does your son do that?
No, he doesn't. We definitely have like youth merch, tons of Fusion t-shirts and sweatshirts and Blue Coats t-shirts, and definitely he's stocked up with all the fits with that, but no uniforms yet. Not yet.
So what has been like your most challenging moment so far with balancing out your life between being a mom and being, an instructor for all these different ensembles?
Yeah. Probably, honestly, when he started school. I think it was a lot easier. I guess it's a double-edged sword because when he was smaller, you got the diaper bags, you got the stroller, you have 1,000 things in the car, and it's like, how am I going to walk around a regional like this? But then, honestly, now it's more so just now that he's in school, managing, making sure that obviously he's the priority. I have to make sure, the homework is done and he has, the lunch ready for Monday morning and all that stuff. So I think it's just managing the priorities and just making sure those things are planned well ahead, or just making sure, is he at my dad's house? Is he at my mom's house? And just the logistics of it all. because like, of course it's like missing him too when I'm on the road, obviously, or like missing a baseball game, or like audition weeks is like his first soccer game. And like, I think it's those things of like missing out. But in all honesty, all the staffs that I work with at both Fusion and Blue Coats are like insanely supportive. Like his godparents are like on staff as well, and like they're very welcoming. Same thing, like there's always someone that's like, do you want me to take him? You know what I mean? I'll go out and
that's the nice thing about the marching arts.
Yeah. It's one massive family, as you all know. So it's like I have so much support that I've been crazy blessed to like not be too stressed out about it. But yeah, I think it's just like making sure that like you plan well and you're organized, and you know what I mean? Like you just have everything kind of set and good to go, so you don't have to worry about it. You just don't want to be caught like, oh my God, I forgot something, or I forgot about this, I forgot about that. So, but yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of love for both me and him. So that's been really great to have that.
That's awesome.
Totally.
That makes you and Cynthia super moms in my book. I just can't imagine doing the things that y'all do and not having the support at home that comes just from having a partner to, that just changed. My daughter, like I said, my oldest is a wedding photographer. There's no way she could do that if her husband didn't, stay home with their son. And so I'm just so impressed with you and Cynthia both that you can manage that. That's kudos to y'all. That really does make you.
You don't have a choice though, huh?
Yeah.
Even if you
exactly.
You make it work though.
Yeah.
I think what Cynthia said, like, it's really easy to just kind of like be like, well, I guess I have to be done, or I guess I have to give it up. But when it's like you've been a part of your life, your whole life, you know what I mean? I can't imagine not having the marching arts in my life at some capacity, even if I was doing an admin role or sewing a costume, you know what I mean? Like, it's just hard. I'm thankful I could be so physically active in it, and so hands-on with the membership. That's my favorite part. But yeah, it's like, it is, you're just like, okay, I guess like your life as like not being a mom, it's like over, and you could still have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
That's love great. That. On that note, I think it is time we switch over to our news segment. I always feel so professional with that like news sound we got going now.
Amazing.
Cynthia, you have our first story, and I'm excited about this one. And
I'm finishing up reading the article as we're talking right now. But basically, it's the let me find the UFL marching band, which is a school that is going to the Kentucky Derby, and that's not a thing. I mean, I'm saying this, and maybe there is a thing here, but I didn't know about this. Like, to me,
you don't do this in Canada.
Probably, but like I picture more the Princess Diana with the big hat, like.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's what it's like. There you go.
You nailed it. That's it. It's put on your best outfit and go watch some horses run around.
Yeah, and they're saying that they are celebrating their 115th year. So they've been doing this since 1936. And they're very excited to go and to be there. And at this point, it's in their blood and in their culture to go and play for the Kentucky Derby. So
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the University of Louisville. The Kentucky Derby, of course, is a horse race here in the States.
Kentucky.
In Kentucky.
The University of Louisville is in Kentucky. That makes sense.
But yeah, it's a tradition. When I was a kid, we always would watch it. It was like something that my grandmother and I would watch together, and it's just neat. It kicks off the biggest 3 races in our thoroughbred racing culture. So it's just a really cool thing. It's just awesome too that they have like a marching band involved in a horse race.
Yeah.
So talking about college marching bands, Cindy.
Yes.
What's your
I
news
have a great story, although part of me thinks this shouldn't be a first, but it is. For the first time in Notre Dame history, they will have an all-female group of drum majors this fall. And so evidently that hasn't happened until now. And but but that's exciting. And one of the girls is from Minnesota, and her local news interviewed her. So that's pretty cool that this group in Minnesota is super proud of her for leading the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And so, her mom and dad are very proud of her, and that's pretty cool to know your kiddo is doing something so amazing as everybody's heard of Notre Dame. And that's just, but like I said, it's kind of surprising to me. It hasn't happened before. I like these all-female groups. We need more of this. This needs to be a trend. We need to keep trending this direction. Nothing against the guys, but I do love that. I don't know. I do. I love that.
Ashlee, what do you got for us today?
We're going to be talking a little bit about the 2024 DCI scholarships. Can you believe that more than $85,000 in scholarship money was awarded? That is wild.
That's a lot of dollars.
That is a lot of dollars.
What's even more crazy is, thank God for these scholarships because of the price tag of drum corps nowadays. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, y'all. When I marched Blue Devils over 10 years ago, I paid $1,700 to march.
Wow.
And nowadays,
that's like
people
camp
are like,
money.
$6,000 to march mandarins or whoever. How much is it at Blue Coats, Jackie?
I want to say, I feel like it's around 6,000. Yeah.
Those poor kids. Oh my gosh. That's
especially after coming off of a winter season where you already dropped 2 or 3, so in one season, you're probably easily spending over 10,000. Yeah.
I mean, how is like this activity going to survive with that kind of price tag, you guys? I mean, I get the cost of living and everything. I get that it's, inflation has heavily impacted it, but it feels a little bleak to think that, so many people cannot participate just simply because of the cost.
Yeah.
But, shout out to all of the people who have generously awarded scholarships to all these really awesome members, and can't wait to see what they do this summer.
Yeah.
Cynthia, speaking of DCI, now let's flip over to the WGI season.
So maybe some of you know, there's going to be the board of directors meeting, the advisory board. This word is really hard to say. Advisory.
Advisory.
That's what I was missing. Advisory. So advisory board in Vegas on June 8th and 9th, if I'm not mistaken. It's the second weekend of June. And we're going to go over all the rules of the rule books of color guard, drum corps, and winds. So if you want to submit, if a group wants to submit a rule change and to the rule books, you have to have it in before the 29th of May. And then it's going to be discussed and viewed and voted at the meeting on June 8th. I will be participating for the first time ever. I'm very excited to be around the table to discuss. If I'm not mistaken, it's all of the, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, but usually I'm the geek of this, but it's all the world-class finalists that has about, and all the top 5, if I'm not wrong. I'm sure the medalists, but I think it's all the top 5 of the other open class scholastics and A-class scholastics and independent. So I will be there and I will attend. And so your rules, if you have anything you want to change, and usually Dale and communicate the day of. So on that weekend, if you're a director, if you're a staff, go see if there's any rule changes, because then maybe you're going to have 70 members on the floor this year. Who knows, right? No. 50 is good enough. Being an educator too, 50 is good enough. But yeah.
I think I think 6 is good. I'm just saying.
Oh. Yeah, well, it does the job, I guess.
Speaking of WGI, Jackie, what have you got for us today?
Yes, so WGI is looking for applications for the WGI Board of Directors. They're offering qualified individuals an opportunity to play a crucial role for the future of the organization to fill some open positions of the Board of Directors. 15 reps are going to be elected from the advisory boards to the Board of Directors. This is also including color guard, percussion, and winds. The basis for the deciding number is from each division is based on world championship entries from the current season. So the more groups that participate within a division, then the more representatives increase. If one division's participation decreases, the number of reps will decrease as well. So they are looking for some qualified people to join that as well.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for coming on the show. If our listeners want to come and find you and follow you on social media, where would they do that at?
Yeah, I am Jacqueline Christiana, my middle name, Yurkin, on Facebook, and also on Instagram, Jacqueline Christiana, on there as well.
We'll have to put that in our show notes. And is there anything you would like to sort of leave us with, a gush and go, if you will, as we close out this section of our episode?
Just really happy to be here. This is really exciting. And no, I think it's just really awesome that, like we spoke about before, it's all about balance, and you can do whatever you want. This activity absolutely shows that, and it's super cliche, but it's like the sky's the limit, and if you want to do it, you can do it, no matter what that means. It's all just planning, and give yourself that opportunity to do that for sure.
Yay! Okay. Well, Jackie is going to run a dance block while she's here. So all of you guys just leave your flags on the sideline, but get out there on the 30 so you can get that done. And we'll see you after the break.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
Everybody, set your equipment down. It is time to jump into our funniest and most outrageous I'm a mom and I do marching arts story. So, Cindy, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Obviously, my band kiddo has graduated and moved on, but I still will never forget her senior year, and Leander was headed to Grand Nationals for the first time ever, and we had BOA San Antonio happening Friday and Saturday. We had to come back for state Monday and Tuesday. All this was down in San Antonio, and then we had to get to Indianapolis by Thursday so that the kids could do Grand Nats. And so we were going to San Antonio and then back to Austin and back to San Antonio and back to Austin, and then of course they flew to Indy, but we drove, and that was the crazy. I'm just like, I don't know how we did it. I don't know how we drove twice to San Antonio and back to Leander and then back to Indy. And then on top of that, it was a show where the kids were really getting injured towards the end. So by the time we got to Indianapolis, we had one child with a broken hip and he was in a wheelchair. So he was a drum major and they just parked his wheelchair on the back field and he led from the back. And then we had 2 or 3 with sprained ankles just that week because it was just so much with San Antonio. And it was the year they did the fourth dimension and they were all running through a giant cube at the end of the show. And so there were just so many of them falling. And in fact, it's funny to kind of go back and watch those YouTube videos but they were troopers, but it was crazy. It was just, I'll never forget that week of insanity, of driving and traveling and taking care of. I was running back and forth to the drugstore to get things for the poor kids that were falling and hurting their ankles. And it was madness. But somehow they all marched during finals. I still don't know how they did it. We had several that said, there's no way I am missing that final run. We made it to finals. I'm not missing it. And they were limping across the field. But I'll never forget that. It was crazy. You know, it's just what you do. It's what band kids do. And what band moms do is take care of them and patch them up.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Oh my gosh.
Ouch. I wonder how their bodies are now.
Right?
Like your broken hip? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
My grandma's hip is not broken.
That was crazy.
Cynthia, what's a crazy, outrageous mom story you have?
I feel like, well, I'm pretty sure as every mom, I could have a full episode of just Sarah-isms, like little things that, but I think one of the funniest is when Sarah was 5 weeks old, and she went to Bethlehem with us at the regional. And and at that point I was still with her dad. So thank God he was there, dad trooper, but he had to take care of pull the tarp. So we handed the little 5-week-old to a mom volunteer and put the stroller by like an announcer table downstairs. And then in 2018, Bethlehem was like a arena, like kind of WGI, I don't want to say WGI, but arena where you perform downstairs and then you go higher level to see the show. So the stroller is downstairs by the announcer table. We forget the stroller there, not big deal at all. We listen to the tapes to go to judges' critique and stuff, and we go to judges' critique where it's like between two spectator area, and it's blocked. And then at that moment in time, the recaps were not on Competition Suite yet. And for people that know me, I want to listen to all the tapes. I want to have my notes. I want to have the recap. I want to have everything.
As you should. As you should.
As a new educator, please, as you should. But I didn't have my recaps. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have my recaps. And you have to go all the way. Like I didn't have time to go all the way around to pick up anything. And Carlo was there. And I love Carlo. And I was like, I'm not going to go in front of Carlo and be like, can I cut through the entire, like the judges and everything But then Sarah needed a diaper change.
Of course.
Oh no.
And I just went to Carla and we're like, we need the stroller to have her diaper change. Can we go get the stroller? But in reality, it was for the recaps. Went down the stairs, got the stroller and the recaps, go back up. And yeah, that was kind of the like, but you're right. Like, I don't know, Jackie, how it went for you at the VGI, but when you have a kid, you have a VIP pass. Like at the arena, like Robert, the first year was giving the bottle, like behind a stand, like a food stand, like laying on popcorn bags. Like we have pictures. Like people really help you.
Yeah, that's
and the judge your baby in a bottle.
Right. It's one of the things that and I was like Cindy and Stephanie told me too, was like ahead of time, like, oh, I was so worried about going this year in particular because I have my toddler who's super mobile and friends with everybody. He's never met a stranger in his life.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm also pregnant. So like I was just like, it's gonna be so crazy. And everyone was like, oh no, everybody's gonna jump in, everybody's gonna be helpful. They're and really they were. It's such a loving community, I feel like, with WGI.
Yeah, Sarah this year was giving out like the maple candies to like people, to stranger, going to all the WGI volunteers, gave them maple candies. And as a mom, like, you know, those friendship bracelets that was the trend this year? I made Sarah a friendship bracelet with like mom and my phone number on it.
Oh, smart.
Sarah is bilingual. She understands English, but she doesn't speak it. So if you ever go to like a big stadium with your kid and mobile, like Jackie is saying, like when they're mobile, put your phone number on their wristbands, and there's so many volunteers, they're going to help. But thank God she didn't.
That's amazing. That's great. Great idea.
Ashlee?
This was a hard one because I feel like I don't have a big giant story, but I do, like, you know, a lot of little things like that, like breastfeeding or pumping in really obscure places.
Yes.
You know? So there was this one season I was nursing, and I was just constantly worried that I was going to be leaking through my staff shirt and all the kids were going to see my breast milk at a game or something. So, you know, that was an added stressor. There was another time where, it was during the COVID era, and we were recording stuff to submit for competition, and I brought baby girl with me. She was probably 2 at the time. We were on a stage in the auditorium, and I'm recording. They're spinning their flags. My back is to the house, and next thing you know, we hear a big old thud because my toddler fell off the stage.
Oh no.
I know, guys. I know. Can you imagine my heart? It's fine. She survived. She is lively. I think she's okay. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Being a mom and doing marching arts is wild. And they're also trying to break into the office right now. They're like crying on the other side of the door. So how's that for motherhood and marching arts for you?
Being on a podcast even about the marching arts, and your kids are like, we have to be there with you.
Yeah. My door is like, I'm like in a horror film right now. They're like crying. I don't know what to, here they are. Here you are.
Oh gosh. This is like perfect. This is just such classic reality mom life. Oh my gosh. I had a really interesting time at WGI this year, of course, but my crazy story has to be whenever Victor and I were up in the box, and he loves watching color guard, and so he's all excited about the flags and the rifles, and he's like jumping up and down, and they have those like glass walls. I thought he was going to like launch himself over that wall. I was so worried because of how excited he was, but he just kept like waving at people, and like he'd wave at performers, he'd wave at people in the audience. Sometimes people in the audience would wave back at him, and it was just really cute at that point. But yeah, kids do crazy things. They're wild sometimes. Well, we have another amazing marching arts mom guest who's about to be on with us, Jenny Durko. I'm going to go run and grab her really quick, and I'll be right back. Come on over here, Jenny. Join us on the sideline. I'm so excited you're here because we're doing our episode all about moms in the marching arts today. And I want to start off with your 32 count life story. So if you've not seen this before, the way it works is we will give you a metronome. It's a doctor beat, so be warned. You'll have 8 counts for free, and then you just jump right in with your life story, basically from birth until now. How did you get to where you're at? But you guys cram it all into 32 counts. So if you think you can handle it.
Pressure.
No pressure.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so I was born in Dayton, Ohio. I am an only child. I went to Carroll High School. I was luckily very blessed by beginning my high school career during the Mike Gaines first years at Carroll. So did that. And then I went on to march some independent groups, none of which still exist. I marched in Escapade, Adagio, the company. I marched in Phantom Regiment, and I marched in the Crossmen. And now I'm an elementary school principal. I have 2 amazing kids, and I still work with color guards. I do some judging, and I work with the Cavaliers in the summer.
Wow.
Is that pretty quick?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Whenever I first received your contact information, I was like, I know this name, but I'm pretty sure it's that Cavaliers connection is what it is.
It might be. It might be. I feel like we're all like the 7 degrees of, what is it called? The Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, all those connections.
I think it's even closer than that.
We could all figure out how we're connected in some way. I love this activity because of that.
Yeah, it's a small world. It really is.
It certainly is. It certainly is.
I love that you're an elementary education principal. I was a preschool director for 10 years, and that was such a, I miss it. I really do. So I love that.
It's pretty great. And, my worlds have collided a little bit too recently. It's been very cool. Well, in a lot of different ways. Our bookkeeper here at school, I taught her daughter when she was in high school color guard. One of our teacher assistants, I taught her daughter when she was in high school color guard. One of my pre-K teachers here, I taught her when she was in first flight. One of someone else I taught with at first flight, he was one of my 3rd grade teachers here. I mean, it's just, it's very, very cool. So the connections you make, and it's pretty amazing.
It's so true. A lot of my little preschoolers are now in high school and in Texas and in the Austin area. So it was always so fun when I'm watching a BOA competition. I'm like, yeah, they were at my school and I was their teacher. And it's just so cool to see them grow up and exceed and excel and be connected in the band world. I love that.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
So you're a mom to everybody, but tell us about your kids a little bit. Are they involved in marching arts or anything?
So I have 2 sons. My oldest is 20, and he actually he did high school band and did indoor. Was in the indoor percussion thing for a while when they kind of combined and had he played saxophone. So he did some wins with them. And, he was actually in his college marching band at East Carolina University.
Oh, fun.
And pretty awesome. Yeah. And he started out as a music education major and kind of went through one semester and said, I love it, but I don't think I want to do it for a living. A-okay.
Good time to figure that out. Yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, the whole education thing, he's having a parent that's in education, you see every side of it.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? I don't care what he does as long as he's happy. I truly don't. But he was involved in that. And then my youngest son, who's actually having a birthday today. He just turned 17.
Oh, wow.
Killing me. 17 and 20. But he did some percussion stuff, and he is a lover of the marching arts. He has been lately taking out to the backyard, wanting to. He's taken a saber and a rifle out there. He's like, "Come out, watch me. Am I doing this right? Can I do this right?"
Wow, nice.
So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, they love to go to, to show. They both grew up in a gym. I mean, when I taught, I was pregnant with both of them when I was teaching first flight winter guard. I mean, we have pictures of the pack and play sitting on the front sideline. Yep. I don't know how they still have hearing now, because back then, we didn't know. You probably should put headphones on those babies,
Yeah, we talked about that.
We definitely talked about that.
Right through it.
Yeah.
No clue. So, but they were raised in a gym. They were raised around this their whole lives. You know what I mean? And it's been amazing. It's been the best thing. It really has.
Do you have a funny or outrageous I'm a mom and do marching arts story where your worlds kind of cross?
Well, so this is one that everybody laughs about a lot. Actually, we actually we have a dear friend of ours that just passed away recently, and he was very involved in the marching arts here in the Atlantic Indoor Circuit. And we just did a beautiful memorial celebration of life for him this past weekend. And so all of these people that have come back, just decades and decades of us that were connecting. And I think that I heard this story probably 4 times because everybody thinks it's too funny. But when my oldest, my 20-year-old was a baby, and I was teaching first flight, we were either in Atlanta or Nashville. I can never remember which one, at the regional. And I would always joke and say, I did my time on floor crew when I marched. I don't touch the floor anymore. That's y'all get to enjoy it now. Well, I had him, I had Hayden in his stroller and we're rolling out, when you're not in your own circuit, when you're in your own circuit, you have all these high school kids that are running out to help with the floor. It's no big deal. Well, you go somewhere else to a different state. A lot of times they're not there. So we get done with the show. They're getting ready to roll up the floor. I've got the stroller and I realize, oh my God, there's nobody here helping with the floor.
Oh no.
So I leave the stroller on the front sideline and I run to help with the floor. We get the floor off. Lo and behold, the stroller with Hayden, the baby, is still across the gym. And it's outstanding. So then later on, we were in they have the sous vide area and everything. We were up there and we were walking through and I'm pushing the stroller and these 2 high school kids went by and they said, "There's that lady that left her baby on the front sideline."
Oh my gosh. Did you get a T&P penalty for that?
No, because I left him he was over on the side.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, he was
just
kind
hanging
of tucked
out
around the side. I wouldn't have risked getting the penalty. I would have left,
That's right.
You got your priorities straight.
But I wouldn't have gotten us a penalty. No
That's
way.
awesome.
No way. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
It's been amazing having them grow up around this activity. So that's no better people that you could have as your village, and they it's been amazing.
You see that a lot now. Even you see so many of the instructors bringing their little kiddos with them, and it really is a village. I mean, I'm just amazed at the amount of, especially even in the high schools, those guard kids, they step up and help take care of the director's kids and marching band too. And it's just really cool to see how it's such a community that really obviously loves each other.
They used to. That was the other thing at the memorial. We said, how many of you were on critique duty? Because whenever we would go on critique after a show, I would say, okay, who's watching the kids? And so, I mean, it was an independent group. It wasn't a high school group. It was an independent group. And so I'd say, okay, who's taking them? And I mean, buddy, if they stepped up and they would take them and they'd go hang out and they'd play. And I mean.
And you didn't worry.
They're just the best. And my kids have made great relationships. One of our, the young people we taught, I mean, she's an adult now. She's engaged to be married. She lives in San Francisco. I mean, I sent Hayden for his senior spring break to go and spend a week with her in San Francisco.
Oh,
and,
fun.
They just, you have these connections and it's great when you build them for yourself. But then to build those connections for your kids.
Yeah.
And I think they learn from each other. I think my kids have learned so much from them. But to be quite honest with you, it's a pretty pretty neat perspective for young people, for young adults to be around parents and to be around toddlers or babies or whatever.
Well, and to see that their director can have a job, have a career, and still be a mom. That's a valuable lesson to young girls.
Oh, yeah.
You can do both.
Yep, definitely.
And it makes you a better mom, in my opinion. It does.
Jenny, is there anything before we let you go that you would like to gush and go on about? Just to our listeners, to the marching arts community in general?
Well, we're coming off of WGI, right?
Yeah.
We're coming off of WGI. We're getting ready to start the summer. I think that you know, maybe one thing is that if you have the opportunity to march and you're kind of on the fence about it, we have a few kids, you know, even for this summer, looking at our cast for Cavaliers that are kind of on the fence, you know, oh, you know, I've got this going on or that going on, you know, real life is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Real life is always, always, always going to be there. And I guess maybe that would be my thing, is just to say, I couldn't be more blessed that I did this and that I took opportunities and that I made the connections I did. And, you know, did it take me a little bit longer to get through college than other people? Maybe.
Oh, well.
But is that okay? I've got plenty of time to pay bills the rest of my life. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
I've got plenty of times to have my big girl job. But it's funny now, and especially last summer at Cavaliers, one of the other members of the staff and I were walking around, and I was like, man, this is crazy to be here and to think you do have a different perspective. Like, you don't realize how nice it is. Like, we're walking, they're feeding you, and like, you don't have to worry about what time they're feeding you, and you lay on this bus, and then you get to practice all day long, and you sweat and you work and you perform, and like, but you're pretty much taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to do your own laundry.
And I loved it so much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you forget how you just take it for granted. You know, I wouldn't want anybody to take that for granted. And if they have the opportunity, like, don't pass it up. Don't pass it up, because it's the best ever.
That's awesome. I absolutely share that perspective with you so much. Is there anywhere that our audience could come and find you and follow you on social media?
I mean, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
What's your Instagram handle? Because we can share it in our show notes too.
This means I'm old, right? But I have to look and see. I don't even know. I don't know what it is. It's at, I've got it. It's right here. It's at Petite Flower 0918. 0918. Okay.
I will go follow you after this too. So.
Me too.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Good. It's showing my age. I have no idea what I'm like, I don't know. Look up people's names. I have no clue.
Thank you very much, Jenny. We are going to have to get back out on the floor, and we're going to take full advantage of your skills while you're here and have you do some critiquing from the box. So we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. You want to drink up On a Water Break Lost in Translation with Cynthia Bernard, uncover the glitz and glamour of Twirlers with On a Water Break in Rhinestones hosted by Lexi Duda, get the insider scoop from the stands with On a Water Break from the Stands with Cindy Berry, aka Leander Mama, and join the band family in On a Water Break Family Style with Stephanie Click, plus much more to come. Make sure to follow us on social media at On a Water Break for all the latest updates and bonus content. Got something to share or a burning question? Email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. So don't be the person that doesn't tell their friends about a water break. Make sure everyone stays hydrated. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
Guys, I can't believe it, but on this water break, we have another guest joining us, another marching arts mom for Mother's Day. Please welcome to the pod, Katheryn Scott. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
So, Katheryn, before we get started on chatting, which I want to know everything about you. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to do something called the 32 Count Life Story. Everybody who's been listening to this episode so far, we've already done it with our previous guests. So, I don't want to go too deep into it. But just so you know, we're going to give you a metronome. You get 8 beats from the Dr. Beat, and then you'll have 32 counts to tell us your entire life story from birth until now.
Okay.
So, are you prepared for this?
I am. I'm excited.
Do you know your dots? Do you have your music memorized?
I do. I even color-coded my dot book. Like, we're ready to go.
Yes, Mama is ready. All right, let's do this.
All right. My name is Katheryn. I am a 34-year-old mother. I am a headband director in Dallas, Texas right now. I have spent my entire career since I was 21 years old teaching high school band. And it all started with my love for music when I was in high school in South Florida doing competitive marching and jazz band, and I loved it. I went to University of Central Florida, Florida A&M for a master's, and had a great time.
That's awesome.
Yay!
What school in Dallas are you at, Katheryn?
So I am currently the head band director at Sunset High School in
Go
Dallas.
Bisons! Woo woo!
Yes. We're about to celebrate the 100th year of the school.
Wow. That's
I'm
fantastic.
in Dallas ISD too, Katheryn.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Leah, the dance director.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, she's great. We're currently preparing our spring game for Thursday.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So tell us about your kids. Kids?
Plural?
Yes, kids. I'm a mother of 3. I have 9, 4, and 2-year-olds.
Wow.
Yep, a girl, 2 boys. I was pregnant for 3 marching seasons.
Oh my
as
goodness.
high school band
In the
director.
Texas heat.
I know how that feels.
That's crazy brutal.
Right.
How long have you been at Sunset?
I recently got to Sunset October of 2022. So majority of my career was in South Florida.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice humidity down there.
Am I hearing an accent from you, Katheryn, or am I just imagining things?
No, everybody says that. I spent a lot of summers with family in New York. Born and raised in Miami, though.
Okay. 305.
Exactly.
One of my good friends that I did Blue Devils with is from Miami, so we're always joking about the Miami things.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, I loved it. South Florida is amazing. South Florida is a great place to be, but making the move to Texas was huge for the family.
Yeah, I bet.
I can imagine.
What would you say was the most challenging thing about making that move? Did you move for your job initially?
Yes.
And then what was the most challenging thing about moving your family?
So I think challenging was, of course, as a mom, we're career driven, but we're also, we're motherly. We play dual roles as women, and the most challenging thing was making sure that our career was stable, as well as the health of our kids, like mentally. Moving them halfway across the country for me was making sure that my kids were set up in great schools and, had great teachers. So it was
also that they'll go to a great high school one day with a great marching band.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the ability, South Florida living was really quick pace. And I love where I am now. I could walk to my daughter's elementary school. I could walk to my son's daycare. I get to do a lot of morning pickup or after school pickup for them, or morning drop off. Sorry. A little bit more than I was able to in South Florida. So the move was challenging to develop a new lifestyle, but it really did give me a chance to better balance being a head band director for high school and mom.
Yeah.
And do you see them? Do you see them already having a? Oh, go, yeah, Ashlee, go. Oh, I was gonna say, do you see them having already like a tangent or an interest for a marching band or the marching arts?
Oh, my daughter for sure is very into dance and color guard. We do color guard and baton twirling. Yes, she loves it. My middle child loves percussion.
Yeah.
And the 2-year-old just wants to run around everywhere.
Of course.
Always
as
the youngest.
Girls go.
As
he could be, I don't know. I first see him playing the loudest instrument possible, maybe. As he grows up, that's just his character.
It's going to be drums.
Yeah,
I believe it. I really foresee a drum set soon in the house.
I was going to ask, is there a huge difference between the kind of band program you taught back in South Florida versus in Dallas ISD? Because like Dallas ISD is very different from a lot of the surrounding districts, as you know, in Texas, because we're really known for our marching band culture. But Dallas ISD being an inner city district and a lot of low income students, the marching band culture is not quite the same. So is that what you experienced back in South Florida?
So in South Florida, I originally developed my program to be, very core style, very competitive, because that's the organization that I grew up in.
Yeah.
And I loved it. When I started teaching in South Florida, I did realize that the group of students that I was educating were not as very driven by competitive marching band. It was more of, I would like to be in a band where I have fun. I was like, okay, well, you can have fun in competitive marching band. It's a different type of fun, I think, sometimes. So what I did was I developed my band in South Florida to be more of a traditional show style band. And I really did have to educate myself, because that was not what I always knew how to teach. So the band that I teach in Dallas ISD is also a traditional show band. However, we were one of 3 schools in our ISD that advanced to area competition for marching band. So even as a high stepping, show style band, we were able to receive our ones. We went to area marching, which is a great accomplishment for UIL in Texas bands.
Yeah,
that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. So, and at the end of the day, we also have 2 very high level performing concert bands and a jazz program as well. And of course, our auxiliaries. So, we do it all for the kids.
So we have a segment that we're going to do now on our show called What Are We Doing? Basically, this is our moment to ask ourselves and each other and the marching arts community at large, what are we doing with anything?
What are we doing?
I love it. I love it.
What are we doing?
What are we doing without changing tables in some of our public concert halls?
Yes.
I can't tell you as a band director mom, like how many interesting places I've had to change my poor babies.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh,
crazy.
Like,
what
and high school gyms, like I know high schoolers probably shouldn't need changing tables, but and in the gym, that's where the basketball games are. That's where the public comes to watch.
That's where the spectators are.
Changing tables in there.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I know. We even or public stadiums.
Yeah,
public stadiums. We went to DCI show in July in Texas, and in the football stadium, trying to find a place to, to change the babies. It's challenging. Like, what are we doing?
A mom needs to not come up with those plans. I'll tell you that.
Obviously.
True. Cindy, what are we doing?
So, if you guys know Nikki, the Real Drum Corps T, Nikki, she had something on Instagram that really I thought was a great idea, and it's band moms in DCI. Why is there not a resident band mom in DCI at camp? I mean, these kids need a mom, because their moms can't go with them. So I volunteered to, if there's a group out there that needs a resident band mom on site during summer band camp.
Yay. There you go.
I'm your girl.
Out here doing God's work, Cindy.
Everybody needs a good band mom.
That's right. DCI included. Some of those kids are still 16. They need their mom.
We had 14-year-olds when I was marching.
Moms.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
even down to us as band directors. Every time I carried one of my babies, I had a band mom for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Cynthia, what are we doing?
I kind of feel bad because it's going to be moms, but maybe it's more of a tip then. But what are we doing not protecting our kids' ears?
Oh, yeah.
I was at WGI. Sarah was it was her second time at WGI. First, she was like a couple of weeks old. Now she was 6. And I saw so little kids. And yet again, with those, they're really easy to find. They're comfortable for the kids. And and even your ears as an adult, we're around bands and color guard, those high pitched voice at WGI World Class is intense. So please look into it. And there are now earphones that just cut maybe you guys can say, but the wrong sounds, it just cuts the high pitched sounds, but you hear really well everything else.
Yeah.
And they're not expensive. They're like $20. Even as an educator, you should have your earphone. So protect your kids' ears because they're so young and around
especially
big
those
noises.
infants. Infant hearing is so sensitive, and those tiny little bones in their ear are just so sensitive.
Yeah. So yeah.
I love it. Ashlee, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Winds and percussionists who are not wearing dance belts.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can somebody can somebody tell them that's what we do?
Please. Please.
Hopefully they're listening to this episode. They're listening to their moms.
I think moms feel that more than anything because you see that and you're like, and you just feel for those boys. You just like, oh my word, somebody please. Yeah.
Well, my question is, to that effect is, why is it not just understood that happens in our world when like when you go to sports, like when you go to play baseball or you go to play football, like that's
absolutely
you're gonna get protection.
Yeah.
Like why
it
would
seems
you
like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it seems
and
like
ballet.
it should be a no-brainer.
Look at ballet.
I think they just assume that because they're wearing, costumes that kind of feel like pajamas sometimes, that they're wearing pajamas. So why would I wear protection with pajamas?
Hello.
I don't know. I really don't know.
What are we doing wearing pajamas for costume?
No, there was a group.
Oh, right?
Get some high quality costumes.
That's a whole topic.
Oh my gosh.
Podcast.
We literally need a whole episode just on uniforms.
We do.
Sometimes
what are we doing?
Okay. Enough complaining. It's time for our Gush and Goes.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
Cindy, do you want to start us off?
Well, I do, because I had the coolest experience when, like I said, we just got back from California from visiting my daughter, and we drove back and we went through Utah. And after we left Salt Lake City, I saw a sign for American Fork. And I was like, oh, American Fork. They have a great band. They have a great guard. And I was like telling my husband this, and I'm like, we have to go there and let me get my picture made in front of their school. So we did. So we went.
Only Cindy.
But then there were band kids out there practicing marching technique. So I got some pictures of the kids, and you guys, their backdrop is freaking mountains, snow-capped mountains. Can you imagine that you get to practice with snow-capped mountains as your backdrop? I was just like amazed. I couldn't believe it. So I put that on my Instagram, and all the kids are like, what? They get to look at that when they're rehearsing? That's not fair. While the poor Texas kids are dying in 1,000-degree heat. The Utah kids have snow-capped mountains to look at.
Guys, go follow Cindy at Leander Mama. She has seriously one of the best marching band Instagrams ever. It's so fun. Cynthia, what would you like to gush and go on about this week?
I'm going to gush and go about all the village that we have as moms for our kids. And I'm thinking about even me as a daughter who was born and raised. I have so many more uncles and aunts than the blood-related family that I have. I know Sarah is always taken care of because there's always an eye on her everywhere I go. So, and the supportive village that we have. And on that route, I need to give a gush and go to Troopers. I haven't said it because I really wanted everything to be settled down, but I'm going to be with Troopers this summer. And yay! I said, yay.
So exciting.
Yeah, and if you're still looking for a spot and somewhere, the music is going to, if you have any bad feelings in your life, this music, all your rage is going to come out. Like it's Dancing with the Devil. The music is dark and I mean, I wish I could perform on that music. And the staff team, we had our audition camp. I wasn't there, but it's going to be just really, really fun. But anyways, I told Chris McCarthy, I can come, but if Sarah can join, I could stay even longer. So they figured it out. We're going to have, one of the staff is going to have a car, so Sarah can be in the bus or in the car. We're going to go more Airbnb than hotels, so everyone can have a room and a bathroom. And I just feel very, very welcomed as a mom and with my daughter being around. And like I said previously, like you don't have to stop your career when you become a mom. There's some organizations that will support you and your value is so, I don't know, you value so much that they're going to make around. And to a certain point, for them, it's not even making around. They're just happy to have a 6-year-old around. So yeah, that's my biggest gush and go. Cool.
Yeah. Well, and if Troopers needs a resident band mom, don't forget about me.
I will keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah. When you come through and do that Midwest tour.
Yeah.
Ashlee, what do you want to gush and go about?
I want to gush and go about my baby daddy.
Aww.
I mean, like being this pregnant and having 3 other kids, I can't imagine having to do the day-to-day without him. So I'm like so terrified of what I'm going to do when he has to go back to work. Yeah, shout out to my baby daddy.
That's awesome.
So, Katheryn, you kind of see how the gush and go system works now. Yes. Is there anything you would like to gush and go on about?
I would. I'd love to gush and go on the amazing village that I have become a part of here since I moved into Dallas. Like I said, it was super challenging to move 3 children, husband. Of course, the dog had to make the trip. He was his own separate journey. Everybody else flew, and hubby had to go back and drive the dog. In South Florida, but the village of band moms who are now like a mom to me and to my children, to all of the band students that on a day-to-day basis, when all 3 of my children are with me at practice or at a performance, that pitch in and really treat them like they're a little sibling. And, I really do like to gush and go on our villages, because as a mom, like I think somebody said, it's really challenging to try to not feel guilty about when you're at work, what you might be missing with your kids versus, when you have to take the day off. Oh my gosh, there's my students actually practicing without me. But shout out to our village, huge shout out, gush and go to those of us who have that village that would include, like, I have a wonderful assistant director, and he is probably, if not one of our biggest supporters in the village. And gush and go to that village that helps us as mom directors.
Yeah.
And encourage us.
I have to piggyback on that for my gush and go, because talking about your village and everything, I live in a really small community and it's fantastic, but I also work here on Water Break and also for Guard Closet. So Jeremy, who is our producer, is also my boss, and I really appreciate him and everybody else at Guard Closet too, because Yeah,
Oh, I love
I
Guard
don't think I
Closet.
could keep working from home and being with my kid all the time. It's just a really nice setup, and it's great. Thank you guys for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you to our hosts, Cindy, Cynthia, and Ashlee. Thank you to all of our guests, Jackie Yurko, Jenny Durko, and Katheryn Scott. Where can we find either your band or you on social media if our listeners want to follow?
So my band, Sunset High School Purple Marching Machine.
Oh.
You can find us on Instagram. We've got shs.pmm_band.
All right.
And we have a couple performances coming out, so hopefully, we got some good footage.
That'll be fun. One more thing, don't forget we have our YouTube channel now. It has many of our interviews coming out as full video editions. Go and subscribe. Make sure you don't miss those. But before you close out of your podcast listening app, make sure you go subscribe, write us a review, share this with a friend, and follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break. And we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.